My name is Shabi Rizvi. I'm on the Google Play business development team, and I get to work with a lot of great app developers. And I'll be okay. Thank you. And three of those guys are actually here today. So I thought it'd be really nice for you guys to hear from these guys about what they've done on Google Play, what's worked for them, and then hopefully we'll save some time at the end for some questions. So with that, Mel, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about your background, the company that you guys work for, and where you guys are based.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Mel Kirk. I work with Zen Studios. We are based in Budapest, Hungary. We have offices here in Northern California. We're a game developer. We develop across console, PC, and mobile. And recently, in the last couple of years, heavily into mobile. And I guess our work, we're best known for pinball titles, but very recently a game called Castle Storm, which we successfully used the Google beta program to help grow a user base prior to launch and then launch. So something I'm really excited about and happy to talk with you guys about that today.
Introduce yourself as well.
Yes, so hey guys, Brendan here from Soundwave, one of the founders of Soundwave. We're based out of Dublin, Ireland, and we're just setting up an office here now in San Fran as well, which we're excited about. So Soundwave is a mobile app. We've got some cool technology in it that allows you to identify all the songs that you're playing across all the various different music services and music apps. So anytime you play a song, it'll then sync that song to your Soundwave profile. And then your friends can find and follow you and see what music you're listening to. So you can check out what your buddies are listening to on Spotify or YouTube or iTunes or anywhere else. So we have a team of 10 based in Dublin, Ireland. And we've been using the community, the G+ community and the Alpha Beta rollout extensively as well. So happy to chat about that too.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Fred for Frontback. I'm Belgian, and we just won the game 5 minutes ago, I guess. So I have a photo app called Frontback. We basically use both camera of your phone. And I got this idea last summer, and it sounds really, really stupid. But actually, we discover along the way that it's much more than a photo and a selfie. It's what you see and how you feel. And the selfie is really about sharing your feelings to your friends. I love to say that your friends doesn't really care about what you eat. They want to see if you are well, if you look happy. We recently launched on Android. We thanks to Sharbi. And again, that's the best thing that happened to us is being connected with Sharbi. He came to our office multiple times. He introduced us to the good people at Google, and so yeah. After one thing that we try to fight is the hype, so we don't try to create buzz. We released the app without telling anyone for a week, just to see the bug, just to see real user, not just your mom that really love what you do, having people who hate what you do, and so together with Shabir, that's how we launch, and we are super focused.
So Fred, I'll leave it with you for a second. Could you share a little bit about the backstory? And then there was an idea that came along. So could you share just like 2 minutes of like that background?
So I was graffiti artist, so all my life is about creativity, and I tried to build something, a communication platform on the web to share multiple images. We had traction in a browser, but we raised money with VCs based on consumer, and we had to find something on mobile. And we tried an app to share multiple photos where you can change the color of the typeface and personalize your multiple photo that you share on social media. And really didn't took off as expected, so we were running out of money, 2 weeks left. And that's not for the drama, that's really what happened. 2 weeks left of money. I should have stopped everything and raised more money at that time, but I didn't. And so I had this simple idea of this front and back photo that I share on Check This, which is the name of the other platform. And my friends in Belgium say, Fred, you look super tired, because this is really what the content was about. It's not about building a beautiful app. It's about having something that people actually use. For the first time, I got a use case of these two photos. So my co-founder came in Brooklyn last year, and I told Melvin, we are going to stop everything. Don't tell our investor. But I think we're going to build something, and we did it in 4 weeks. We released this app, iOS first. We released this app, and we got 100,000 downloads in a month. And so obviously the investors who didn't wanted to put more money were like, my new friend again. And so yeah, that's a little bit our story.
Great, thank you. Brendan, one of the things that I was really happy with you guys is, and I've put other developers in touch with you, is just about alpha beta. Could you talk a little bit more about how you guys have used that, how you built your community, and how you continue to use that today?
Yeah, for sure. So we, before we launched anything, we actually started reaching out to the existing just G+ communities when we had literally had sketches on paper, when we had paper prototypes, when we had anything. And we just started dropping in little messages into the Android design G+ communities and the Android dev G+ communities, and just getting feedback as if our product existed before we even built it. So we were just in there hanging out in all these different communities, just saying, what do you think about this type of app, and what do you think about these types of designs? And for every kind of niche area that we wanted more feedback on, there was an existing community inside in G+ with hundreds of thousands of active people just crying out for content to talk and share about and to critique. So yeah, we reached out to those guys and we started building this really great following. Every time we put up a post, we get a lot of traction on it. We decided from there to build our own community inside in G+. We set up a Soundwave testing community, invited in all the kind of the people that we've been engaged with in the other existing communities. We tried to make it kind of exclusive so that only people that we knew were actually going to actively contribute could get in. And then from there, building on that, we really, when the alpha beta stuff came out, we connected that up with our existing community. And now everything that we do gets rolled out to that community first. These guys are vicious, but in a really positive way. They find everything more than we possibly could. As a result of that, we roll all of our QA is pretty much done by our community, and they find everything that we could possibly imagine. And then from there, after we kind of have a clean build, then that's when we push it live afterwards. But for us, it's an invaluable resource. It's like an extra, couple hundred people that we feel like they're an extra team member, and we talk to them every day. So,
awesome. Mel, you had mentioned that as well. It'd be great to get a game developer's perspective on how was it, how you guys set it up, and how you plan on using it moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We too set up with G+, as terms of people being able to access the APK, log into our group. Coming from a console and PC background, PR in core games is a very important part of promoting your game. So we took a lot of the same approach, and we literally announced the game and announced the beta was live at the same time, and we had links straight to the G+ group, and just made this an open invitation. And a lot of the press actually posted that, and they thought it was really kind of a novel idea. Early access games have been taking off on the PC side, so to them, I think it was an interesting approach on mobile. So this first round of PR coverage actually generated quite a bit of just awareness. And so day one, we were hoping to get 1,000 people during the course of the beta. And day one, we had 1,000 people, and then by day 3, we had 3,000, and then by the time we were done, we ended up with 10,000. But what was really great about it was the amount of data and feedback that we got. A lot of times when you launch your game and your app, it takes a certain level of investment to get your first round of data, and then you gotta analyze that and you figure out what the heck is going on in your game and if you're monetizing and how to optimize. So we got through all of that but prior to launch. And we were able to launch with a much better game in our hands. We knew where players were having a hard time in the game, where they were dropping off. We knew which countries were going to be more prone to advertising, and so we needed to have better fill rate for ads and find better partners in advertising. We found out where bugs were. We have a large QA team, 25 people on QA, but this army of 10,000 players were finding bugs for us. So we were able to utilize word of mouth and just build a community around it and have other people talking about the game with their friends. So overall, great experience. We're going to launch every game this way on mobile going forward. There's no question about it. There's a lot of potential there.
Great, awesome. Fred, if we could bug you again. I know your company focuses a lot on community, and I think a lot of that also has to do with growth. And we were just having a conversation about Fred and I were talking about, in the early stages of a company, and as you're first getting your app into the store, he was talking about how important it is to have community. Could you talk a little bit about what you think is so important about that, how you guys have built your community out, and what you think about as you continue to grow that?
Thank you. Yeah, I think for us, community is everything, and we. Just an example is most of the employee actually were power user, and that's for us something very important. And we have makeup and mask and costume at the office because we interact with the community. When there is a birthday, we interact, and so we really focus on a small number of people who totally get it and who I never know how to say this word in English anyway. I'm going to choose another one. But people would deeply love and get it. And I think just a few hundred is enough, and that's what we did on Android. We didn't want to have our friends playing with the beta just to have this beta of this upcoming product. We wanted people who really want to take photo and using it. And so all our focus is on community. We rent an office, which is a live and work space. So we have bedrooms and office, and we spend a lot of time with the user. They stop by, and we have barbecue and with the user. So after this moment, they really have something. They got a moment with us, and I think that makes a difference.
Very cool. Thank you. Brendan. Love to hear your thoughts on community as well. So we talked about sort of the app community, getting people to test your app, but you've got a whole other side of your business, which is interacting with musicians, getting fans on board. Could you talk a little bit about how you built that out and maybe some of the artists that you guys have worked with over time?
Yeah, for sure. I actually thought that was really interesting that you said that you had people in the office as well, because that's something that we've done. We've kind of got an open door policy where once every 2 weeks, anybody can just walk in and hang out with us. And I think people were actually really kind of surprised by that, because I thought everybody was doing that, but they're for sure not. So yeah, we make a strong effort to have like a physical community as well as having the online community. One thing I might be worth touching on is we actually have a brand ambassador program which grew out of our community. So we had some people that were in the community giving feedback that really liked what we were doing so much. They asked, is there a formal way that they could get involved? And as a result of that, we now have 50 brand ambassadors, 50 brand ambassadors in 50 countries. And all of these guys are actively doing community outreach, PR outreach, artist outreach, and it's how we're actually onboarding a lot of artists. So musicians and artists really like using Soundwave because when they download it, when they then listen to music on Spotify or YouTube or anywhere else on iTunes, they're instantly showing their fans what they're actually listening to. And as we started growing in all these different countries and we started getting brand ambassadors in those countries, they'd start saying, well, hey, why don't you get this artist on? I love this guy. He's huge in Tokyo, or he's huge in Thailand. And it was actually through our community that we started really growing. So we've done no formal marketing on Soundwave to date, and yet we're in 190 countries. And that's all just through the community, just sharing to other people and onboarding local artists, local PR, local community ambassadors all around them. So there's just little mini hubs everywhere that are sharing and spreading the word of Soundwave. And that's, we owe our community 100% for that. So.
Nice. Awesome. What are some of the things you guys do to promote new applications that you guys have built? Do you guys do cross promotions of your games? How do you guys think about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we do. We also cross promote with other developers. Like Vector Unit, they make a game called Riptide, and they're good friends of ours. And we just talked to each other and said it would be really nice if we had a network of developers that we could get together with and literally just share traffic and drive traffic when a new app is launching. And so we tried it together, and it was really great. I mean, we just said, okay, we'll give you 25,000 clicks, and so we reciprocated, and we were driving traffic to each other's games. It costs you nothing to do, and just if you have friends, other developers, I'd highly recommend working together. To this date, Zen has not spent a single dime on user acquisition. Yet our pinball titles were roughly 50 million installs across iOS and Android. Castle Storm, we just launched in early May, and we're a few million in. We're just getting started. Hearing what these guys are talking about with community and letting people access your game or your application and be open with them, let them see who you are and have a really nice relationship. You're going to get a lot more than you think out of these people. And working together with the development community, working on your PR and your message, finding people who are really into your game and your app and who will talk about it publicly. If they've got an audience, engage them on a very personal level, and get people talking. It goes a long way.
Awesome. So maybe we can keep things with you and talk a little bit about monetization. What forms of monetization do you guys use with the games that you guys have? What models have you guys experimented with? And then, I guess, would you have any recommendations for the group that's here on how to figure out monetization? Because it'll vary by developer.
We've done paid. We've done free app with in-app purchasing. And just recently, we've done free download in-app purchasing plus advertising. And for us, all three have worked. But I got to say, the most exciting and the most promising is this hybrid approach with in-app purchasing and advertising. We will essentially allow you to buy the game for a certain price, which turns off ads and gives you a certain level of virtual currency on a weekly basis. And when we introduce new content, you do have the ability to use your currency, but it's probably not going to be enough to fully unlock that new content. And then there's ads. There's incentivized and there's non-incentivized. And so I'm getting money for every user that comes in the game. And there's no bad user for me at that point, or no non-monetizing user, which I know everyone's always looking for quality users. I say that really look at that approach. There's certain countries like Russia, for example, they don't spend very much money at all on IAPs, but they'll watch ads all day long. And we're finding we have several ad partners in Russia, like Ad Colony does really, really good fill there, and a few others. And we're doing really well on ads in Russia. IAPs, we try to be very fair. We're not trying to nickel and dime. Our most popular transaction in game is a $4.99 transaction, which you buy the game, you don't see any more advertising, and you get a certain amount of currency. So our relationship with players is very important. We don't try to monetize until you've spent, 15, 20 minutes in the game. We want you to know what the game is about, see the quality, see the work we've put in. We start to ask you, hey, are you ready to spend some money? No, and slowly gets a little more painful until you got to decide, okay, I'm watching ads or I'm going to spend some money.
Great, thank you. Brendan, could you share thoughts on monetizing music?
Yeah, for sure. So we've some revenue models in place already, just traditional affiliate programs. So as people discover tracks, they can purchase them through Soundwave, and then we kind of have deals in place to get some of that rev share. What we're really excited about is we actually have a unique position that we are the only ones that understand across all platforms, all devices, all players, and all apps what somebody's listening to. Especially for native plays. So if you listen to music on the iPod on your iPhone or the native music player on your Android device, we can actually track all that as well. And we're kind of in a unique position now that we can kind of turn on the light over the music industry and let the music industry know who's listening to what, where, and when. And that's an avenue that we're kind of exploring right now. So just really allowing the industry to understand, a lot of people are listening to this artist, or a lot of people listening to this artist in this area or at this time. And really understand trends as they emerge, as opposed to 6 months or a year after the fact, after they occur. So we like to think that we're kind of replacing the old model of sending guys out on the street to try and find new artists and kind of discover new guys by being in every club and bar in the world, by having this app that's actually kind of in real time checking out what people are listening to instead. So for us going forward, it's definitely just that understanding of what's being played.
Awesome. Fred, do you have thoughts on? It may be down the line, but I'm sure you guys have thought about it a little bit and talked about it with investors.
We obviously are a venture-backed company, so
yeah,
they bet on the future. We are 11 months old, so it's super early. But what I know and what I see is we have brands in the feed. People are sharing simple moments of life, and so we have unique content, and I think that's something that's like a good opportunity.
Yep. Awesome. I think we'll start to close things out and give people a chance to ask questions. Two last questions. One, what are some of your favorite apps?
Sunrise, the calendar app. I really love this guy. I love the app, and they just released on desktop, so it makes really nice.
Awesome.
For design purposes, I definitely think Flipboard and Pinterest are two of my, they're useful, but they're also, I think, really well built on Android for sure and designed really well. So they're two that we look to constantly. So
I still play a lot of games. Ridiculous Fishing. If you haven't seen that, you got to play that. In Monument Valley, really, really great game. Those two are, still play those. In Pitfall, the endless runner from the classic days. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Cool. So And then one last question for everyone. If there's folks in the audience that are sort of new to Android, new to Google Play, would there be any sort of 1 or 2 bits of advice you would give them as they consider building on Android and Play?
I would say, well, from the game developer's perspective, build for the masses. Build something that a lot of people are going to want to play, and something that is easy to understand within those first few moments. And Google. The nice thing about Google and Android is you guys are so open. So I've never had a problem getting a hold of anybody here. So be persistent and find somebody to talk to, because I'm sure when you pique their interest, they're definitely going to help you out. So, and I really appreciate that about you guys. So thank you very much.
I'd say get Shabiz's business card.
No. No, I'm a designer, and I was super impressed by actually engineers totally understand design on Android. It's much more closer, and trusting your engineers is, that's a big surprise for me.
Great. So questions for the panelists?
Hey guys, I'm wondering if any of you guys are utilizing in-app subscriptions, and I'm interested in what price points are working for you and what your churn rate is. How many people successfully renew subscriptions that have bought it for the first month?
We haven't done anything with the subscriptions yet. We've thought about it, especially with our pinball game, which we're releasing content for very frequently, and with a lot of branded, like mass market type of brands, where people could just pay a monthly fee and know that their new pinball table is going to show up, X on X date. The challenge is, from a development standpoint, delivering the content on time every time. As soon as you mess that up, people aren't going to trust you, and they're going to be mad. So can you deliver the content? I think that's what's holding a company like ours back.
This is for Brendan. How do you guys manage the release schedule? So we've been thinking about having a beta channel, and we used it when we were deploying it to a private beta before we were ready to show it to the world, and then we marched the branch back into the main channel. How do you manage to make sure that the releases are always in sync and, getting out to the people?
It's for us. It's pretty seamless. It's you just
A weekly or monthly or
Oh yeah,
daily?
so we change, right? So when we started, we've been out for just under a year right now, and when we started, we used to iterate and push out new updates every 2 weeks. So we were just fast iterations, little bugs that we were finding. Then when we hit our groove, we slowed that down and we started waiting, kind of 6 weeks, and we're kind of in a 4 to 6 week cycle right now. For this current cycle, we haven't done a push in about 3 months because we've a huge release coming. So for now, everybody's just in on the beta and giving feedback. So we kind of changed our time frames on that.
Yeah, you said you didn't use even a dime to acquire users. What do you think were the keys that you used to acquire users without even making an ad, or what did you do?
Well, I would say there's 2 different experiences at this point. One, on the pinball side, when you have a license like Star Wars or Marvel, you work with them, and it's not like anything's written in a contract. We're going to do X, and X for you for marketing. But at the end of the day, you're going to work with them on some level. You get access to their communities, their personalities. So there's a lot of marketing that'll drive installs there. But also, our PR outreach is very good. We're in touch with all the editors from the big sites, even just tech-focused sites. They're constantly writing about Zen Studios in our games. And then recently on Castle Storm, we cross-promoted with our existing users on other, on the pinball side, working with other developers. And then, working with guys like, say, for example, NVIDIA. We support their higher-end Tegra chips, and so we're on the front of whatever it is they're doing. Or working with Android and getting feature placements, and that's going to drive a ton. If you get that, that's the holy grail, So all those different things combined drive installs and allows us to spend money on different things.
Yeah. For us, as its consumer, it's really friends of friends in the real life. So having the focus on the delight of the user, making him happy using the product, is going to bring his friend.
For us, it's the product itself. As people want to know what their friends are listening to, they'll share the app to their friends. So that the whole thing is just inherently viral in itself, the way it's set up. So.
Okay, so I have a question about it's related to piracy, in that I've uploaded apps to Google Play and then they get pirated and they're on other app stores in other countries within days. Obviously, in-app purchases don't work in those other app stores, and sometimes the ads don't work. So I'm just wondering if you have any best practices on how you deal with that.
So actually, we can talk on the side. I don't think the panelists will be able to comment on that specifically. That's totally fine. Other questions?
So this is kind of related for you guys who have like thousands of users in your beta program. Do you have any concern with confidentiality? Are you concerned that people are going to leak screenshots of your app out to the public ahead of time? Is that a concern for you guys?
We've been pretty open. We've asked them not to do it, and they've not done it. So I don't know if it's something that you'd be worried about. You probably might have to take particular precautions. But for us, it's always just we've been pretty trusting with the community, and I don't think there's anything too sensitive that we're working on anyway. That if it did happen, we'd probably spin it in a positive light anyway. So not for us, but maybe for the others.
We actually, this sounds funny, we encouraged them to take screenshots and to share and to talk. We went into beta when we were ready for the game to be out in the open and for everybody to see everything.
Yeah, and one thing that we discovered in Asia, and particularly in Japan, actually they really take screenshot and blog about the updates, the beta, and I think that's just validation that what we do is important for them. But I guess it's also how close you are to the release date. If no one can move as fast as you do, doesn't really matter.
One last question. You said that you use ads. Do you use AdMob or some other network to promote ads, to get ads?
We're using several networks, and they each have the ability to serve various markets. So like AdColony, I think everybody here probably knows AdColony. They can serve everywhere really well, and then there's others that serve more niche type of countries and smaller markets, and they're selling directly, so they actually can fill the ad call. AdMob, massive reach. So we have several implemented and working with a lot. Yeah.
Cool. We have time for one last question if anyone has one. All right. If not, then thank you, panelists, and they'll still be around.